What's up, Libra? We got a card pulled from the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck. We're going to do the description and then the actual reading, okay? And this deck is by Adriana Ayales. So the card pulled is Dandelion with the subtext Wounded Healer. Wounded Healer, wounds as tools to awaken, healing journey, inner child healing. The English word for dandelion comes from the French dent de lion, or lion's tooth, referring to the spiky, pointed shape of the plant. The French also called this plant pissenlit, or pea the bed, due to its diuretic powers. Native Americans used it to treat kidney disease, swelling, skin problems, heartburn, and upset stomach. Traditional Chinese medicine used it for stomach problems, appendicitis, breast inflammation, and to assist mothers with milk production. In Europe, it has been used to relieve fever and treat boils, eye problems, diabetes, and diarrhea. Dandelion is a survivor. It has an extraordinary ability to withstand hardships and thrive in disturbed environments. Dandelion loosens compacted earth and grows deep taproots that rejuvenate the soil. And this is what it does to body and soul. It assists us in renewing, cleansing, mineralizing, and adapting. In medical astrology, dandelion is associated with the Sun and Jupiter. It's primarily an alternative. Herbs that gradually restore the proper function of the body, increasing health and vitality. And bitter herb. And it's also known as a bitter herb that works on the liver and gallbladder. Chiron, also known as the Wounded Healer, was a wise centaur in Greek mythology who gave up his immortality to save Prometheus after he was accidentally pricked by a poison arrow and learned that despite all his medical knowledge, he would be in pain forever. He ended up landing amongst the stars as a constellation. Chiron orbits between Saturn and Uranus, symbolically marking the liminal territory between Saturn and Uranus, the fifth dimension and quantum mind, embodying the rainbow bridge between the inner and outer planets. In astrology, Chiron represents our deepest, most tender wounds that are the most difficult to heal, yet it also marks where we would hold our greatest gifts. Dandelion is here to remind you that you can thrive regardless of your circumstances. Take ownership over your wounds, find gratitude in the lessons, dive deep into the depths of your origins, and use your wounding to further define the purpose and healing you are here to transmit and share with the world. Don't let your pain define your personality, but draw from it for strength and purpose. Like Chiron, you were born from the seeds of higher order and intelligence. Embrace this great healing power you've been given and go beyond the outlined path. This is, I think, in terms of the first thing that I really wanted to come across, or really wanted to get across, is the idea of survivorship, right? Dandelions are able to survive in any environment, and that is, and not only survive in the environment, but also heal the environment, right? Because we're talking about dandelion having an ability to loosen compacted earth as it grows deep taproots that rejuvenate the soil. And for those that don't know, there's a really big problem in terms of the way we compact soil, and in terms of leading to the soil holding less water, and basically just problems piling up on top of that. The ability to grow, the ability to grow in harsh conditions is something that really does speak about just Chiron in general, or the wounded healer, I'll say. The idea and the aspect of being able to do more, not despite your wounds, but because of your particular wounds, is a very particular thing here. That's the way it transforms your energetic imprint is something very real, right? We don't carry the same energy when we are when we carry wounds, when we have carried a wound, when we know what it means to be wounded. So when it comes down to this idea of carrying wounds and being a healer, you should understand that your ability to carry wounds will translate into your ability to essentially solidify your legacy in this world. So when it comes down to any type of wounds that you may be carrying, it's important that you understand that is building and strengthening you, and really testing you to really solidify a very real echo into the future. So this idea of there's a few things that this reminds me of. One, before God imbues us with any type of mission or talent, it's a testing that has to go on first. You have to be tested, and this is instrumental, the testing, and because there's the saying of my child is you're speaking to like a small child, and you say, oh, you're a king, and it's just like that's kind of that's not what I'd recommend. I don't recommend talking like that to kids, because the idea of an analogy and understanding needs to be that the weight of a crown has the ability to break necks. So in terms of telling someone that they are a king without actually trying to build the actual foundation and prove and try to create a test for them to prove that they have the ability to wear a crown, you simply say that you're a king, and that's I think it's wishful thinking, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it one bit. I think there has to be an element of earning that title, right? We can't just say that. And this idea of, also what it brings to mind is, Chiron is between, the quote right here is, Chiron orbits between Saturn and Uranus. In terms of the 3D, the restrictions of the 3D, you can look at Saturn and have an understanding. The next planet would be Uranus. Having Chiron in between that says that this element of pain is the step toward Uranus. And that's what's so powerful here, because that step is it comes in the form of a deep wound. So to have it there, it's very instrumental that you're able to carry this. And I'll say that this idea of where we're at now and where we want to go, you guys need to understand something. This, where we're at now, we can paint a lot of great pictures and great words and use very, very beautiful descriptions of where we're at today. But the people who understand real life and understand real reality in terms of the way society, they've experienced the sickness of society. They don't just hear the words sick society, they live it. There's a very real darkness in that, and where we're at now. So I'll say that I feel like I have to necessarily apologize to the people in general in this generation, and just everyone in alive today, because this renaissance, this idea of a renaissance, it will echo and it will shadow all the renaissances before, the Italian Renaissance, the Harlem Renaissance. The problem is that the people who get this car started, they won't get out unscathed. You understand? That there won't be that element of, oh, we're just able to, like the hippies did in the 70s, sing Kumbaya and everything's gonna be great and okay. It won't be that way. That's my take on that. And this idea of Chiron being in between tells us that this wound, it will make it, however, we haven't made it out unscathed. We're not making it out unscathed. But this wound, it does teach us the lessons for the future generations to move forward, right? And for us to move forward in the future. But there has to, the idea of coming out unscathed is ridiculous. We the idea of the people who haven't been scathed and they're trying to direct where the next generation is going. I don't even think people would have real respect for them, to even try to pretend to be unscathed, I don't. You do need to carry this idea that wound is, if you've been wounded, if there is a wound that's really that's hit you, it is it's a metal, right? That scar is a metal that gives you a lot of respect in the world of the unseen, and also it helps move you into places where the world has never gone before in terms of society. And if anything, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next week.